All right, we're gonna go over how we make the salami here. We're gonna do one more batch for the season. This is my lovely assistant, Tiffany. We're gonna grind it and everything and then do the seasonings. Some people wanted to see the details of the seasoning, so we got salt here, some wine here. This is black pepper. This is ground garlic from our garden. That's what it was before we ground it. Paprika, crushed red pepper here. I'm gonna make this batch a little spicier. And then this is the ground peppercorns.
You ground up.
We ground up
the pepper flakes.
Pepper flakes, yeah. It's nice to have everything in whole pieces because then it preserves the flavor and nutrients. And then when you grind it when you want it, you're getting the freshest nutrients versus buying pre-ground stuff, which has less of a shelf life. So we're gonna do 25 pounds of salami here. So we got our scale here, which is adjusted for this. So I grind into this, then I put there, weigh it until I get up to 25 pounds in here. This is the pork. It's gonna be some fatty sausage, which fatty's good for the salami. And yeah, there's belly in here. This pig was killed 2 days ago, chilled it for a night, then I broke it down into pieces, put it in the fridge, and we're doing it here. And I'll grab a stick of salami to show you. So this is our finished product, almost fully done. It's been smoked and hung for 6 weeks. We went with some thinner casings on this batch, which I'm happy with. So yeah, this is what it's gonna look like, but this is where it all begins. This is actually pork belly here, this cut. As I cut into it, you can see the bacon look. And the salami is good when it's fatty too, so I haven't really had any that's too fatty. So for our grinder here, I put them into pieces about that thick. This is gonna be great having belly. Fill that pan up. Anything you're making, keep an ingredient, or what's this called? What do you call these? A recipe. Recipe book.
A notebook?
A notebook. Well, because you make something good and you forget what you made, and you can recreate it. It's fatty. This is the fat bowl actually you brought me to. Well, it's the belly and the fat.
Do you want the other bowl?
Well, I want to mix in some lean and some fat. There's the big bowl. There's still a decent amount of fat on. This was a fatty pig. It's a heritage breed pig. There's some leaner cuts in here to mix in there. These big cleaver knives are nice for cutting and scooping meat up. This is the ham rear end of the pig, which has a lot less fat. Generally used as making ham steaks or cured hams. This pig had a lot of fat on him. This is all the fat along the back. That's the pork loin, which if we have extra, I'll probably chop that up into pork chops. And then you can trim this fat off, turn it into, render it down for lard. To sharpen knives, this works well for getting the blade back to a point. It's not actually taking any steel off, but when you cut meat, the blade, if you look at it closely, it actually bends to the side. So this will get it straight again. You gotta do the same amount on each side at the same angle. It actually works really well getting it back where you want it. Okay, so we do 2 2.5% salt per pound is approximately what we're doing. The sweet spot is 2 to 3% salt per pound for the curing process to happen, which is the what is actually going to cook the meat. Smoking it is also purifying the outside and disinfecting it. So nothing of the salami is actually cooked with heat. So we're going with 2.5% salt, and that is 1.25 cups. 1.25 cups on 25 pounds. And it's 2 to 3%, so you could be a little heavy or light on your salt. That's 1 cup.
You almost need taller gloves.
That's our salt. Now we're going to paprika. Paprika, just some ground peppers essentially. The salt's the main thing, and that's obviously the salt flavor. And then the rest of the seasoning you could, like I followed this recipe, but you could up and down peppers and garlics and onions. But we're going with 1 cup of paprika for 25 pounds. And then we're going 1/4 cup of garlic, which I might go a little heavy on this because it's never too garlicky, right?
Never.
I don't think so. Hasn't been so far. So just doing a heavy 1/4 cup here. Okay, that's our garlic. Black pepper. 1/4 cup of black pepper. Do it says 1/2 cup of ground pepper, so we've done garden peppers ground up, cayenne peppers ground up. We're gonna do crushed red pepper ground up. This is a 1/2 cup. I think I'm gonna do 3/4 cup because I want this batch to be spicier. And 1.5 cup of red wine. We went with an organic Cabernet Sauvignon wine. So I'm gonna do a cup. This also helps mixing it. Helps it come through the sausage casing also.
Okay, don't use all of that.
This is the
That's all I
tomato.
have left.
Is this from?
Yes, that's dehydrated tomatoes.
Okay.
And then ground.
So this is
It's so good.
dehydrated tomatoes from our garden, which.
I use it
Very
to thicken
strong.
sauces.
So what do you think? 1/4 cup?
Yeah. And you can just add water to it, and then you've got tomato paste.
I'll do a heavy 1/4 cup. Yeah. That's kind of the nice part about doing the salami. You can mix things and it's not that critical as long as you got the salt right. I mean, I'm sure you could make it way too hot or... I think salt's the thing though. You don't want to be low on and you don't want to have way too much, otherwise it'll just be way too salty tasting. So we're going to do a 1/4 cup of cayenne pepper.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that much. Do half.
You scared?
I'm not eating that batch.
It's alright, we got lots of batches for the not hot lovers. This will be a spicy salami.
Yeah, well.
A spicy salami.
1/4 cup of cayenne.
Oh yeah. Alright, so that is our mixture. And now I am going to mix it a whole bunch. And you don't, I highly recommend gloves because it gets in your fingernails and all over the place. Alright, so.
Yes, sir.
This is the physical part, getting this mixed up. Because you want to mix it where it's real tacky, sticky. Which I'm sure in commercial realms they got, you know, big mixers, but it's not too bad by hand. You just need a couple big pans.
How many did
They
25
do.
pounds Yeah.
They do about, those I think will do 3 pounds a piece, 2 to 3 pounds a piece, so we'll need about 12 of them and some warm water, and then the sausage maker. It definitely takes a lot of mixing. This is why we didn't have to mix the fatting, because it all gets mixed pretty good. The old meat, what would they be? Butchers. Old butchers had massive forearms from doing this all day, wrestling salami and sausage. Now we got machines, so we're all skinny. Starting to get the consistency we're looking for. It's about at least 5 minutes of hand mixing, generally. And what you're looking for is, obviously it mixed well, but you also want it to get real sticky, which is sticking there, so we're getting there. I still want to make sure that seasoning's thoroughly mixed in. In the summer we can grow the ingredients for our salami, and then in the winter we can make it.
Hot soapy water, right?
No, not soapy.
Just kidding.
Bleachy.
There's some bleach.
Doesn't have to be hot, just warm.
It's warm.
Alrighty, so here is our sausage maker, and we also got these new shelves so we can get organized with all our kitchen stuff. That now our dining room is kind of turned into our kitchen room, our extra kitchen room, so can't beat having lots of shelves, which I just threw these together pretty quick. They don't need to be done perfectly for storage. This thing's really handy. It's not hard to stuff them by hand. The issue is getting them stuffed tight. That's the biggest issue. And this has different settings too, where it'll go faster. There's the fast one. It's actually quite easy to use this too. If you want to get into any sort of bulk sausage making, I highly recommend one of these. This will hold like, I think 10 or 15 pounds in the hopper. Maybe it's 10. They make different models, different sizes with these. Which this is a nice size model. All right. Nice being able to get a lot in here. Only have to fill it twice, it looks like, for 25 pounds. Okay, this is a smaller one here. That tight. You're going to poke holes in your casings anyways, so you can poke a hole in it so that air doesn't turn this into a bubble. There it is. It's got me. Okay. All right. You want to hold this and I'll twine it? You tie it through the meat so that there's no air. See, this is very easy getting it tight in there with this machine. And everything's mechanical, so you don't need to worry about power for any of this, which is nice. All right, Tiffer. Same thing, tie through the meat. Don't lose it. It smells great. Keep Johnny coming back with salami. We started homesteading / farming. I guess I call it homesteading because it doesn't seem like a farm you'd be used to. Because we do such a variety of stuff where when you see general farms, you kind of see monoculture farms. Homesteading's kind of all sorts of stuff. Tiff, can you hold it like that? Alright, there's that. Should probably order more of those smaller ones, right?
Yeah.
We'll use up the big ones, but...
Then will you stop making sausage? Salami?
I think this is our last batch. I just want enough to make it to next
I
February.
just need enough for 3 years.
I need enough to make it to the next season.
Jake takes one of these when he leaves for work in the morning. For lunch.
It keeps you hearty. Should be the last one here. Might do all of it. Oh yeah. Push it down a little further. Okay, you want to hold that?
These do break.
Yes. These ones are pretty strong ones. They're collagen casings. Now, let's get a little cleaned up. Then we'll poke them. Then we'll hang them in the smoker. Then we'll smoke them. And then we'll wait. We're just going to poke them all. I've done this with a pin, but then I found this online, a triple poker. So each poke is 3. And this is so when it's curing, all the moisture can fully get out of it. So you can poke it a whole bunch. And this has worked well. One poked. We're gonna eat this in a month and a half. Do you like the salamis?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat all of it.
You're gonna eat all the salami? Ooh, it's beautiful. So this is this. Much lighter, much firmer, about 6 weeks old. Smoked.
Firmer?
Smells beautiful. I'm a firmer, and this is firmer. Different words for firming. Tiff, you can help me carry these.
I can't. I have so much to do.
No, you don't.
I'm really busy.
All right, there we go. Time to get to the smoker. I guess I could probably get these all on one finger.
I'll watch.
Last time these things broke when I picked them up. That was disappointing. There were 2 of them broke. That's a beautiful look, isn't it? I think I've learned the smokehouse should be closer to the kitchen. Okay. We got lots of things in here. We got turkey, some of the largest turkey breasts around, smoking, which I'll move over here. Which these were doing the same process of cold smoking, salting. When you hang them, you don't want them touching each other. We got some old ones in here that have been hanging that I kind of put over here to they won't get hit quite as much with the smoke. And then this is kind of an experiment I got here. The turkey breasts were salted in the fridge for 2 nights. They've been smoked for about 4 hours already. I'm going to keep smoking them and then maybe cook them on low eventually. But as long as you keep things salted and you keep smoking them, they don't rot. So you can kind of play with this experiment. Oh, the cat there. This here is for one of my guys wanted to do smoke a hide from one of the deer I killed. So it's another way of preserving hides. You salt it and then smoke it. So let's get the fire going. Growing the meats, and then curing the meats, and then eating the meats. What I do to make a fire is I put 2 big logs on the side there, and then I put cardboard and stuff in between to get it going, and then softwood on top. And then once all that stuff's burned off, more hardwood. Then I let the hardwood create a base, and then I shut the door. I've been very happy with this smokehouse. This thing's been great. What we're doing here is a cold smoke. It isn't actually cooking anything. That's why we got this far away from that. That goes through a pipe that's far away, so the heat from this doesn't transfer into that. The firebox. If you were to, put this right into that, it would then be a hot smoke, and you could use it for a different purpose then, for more like cooking and grilling. Grab some of this wood. Don't swing an axe like this, unless you're experienced. Here, put them across like this to start. Like that. Okay, you know what I mean?
That?
Yep. Cross. Yeah, across from log to log.
Can you do it for me?
Yeah. Like that. And now you can go like this. See?
Okay. For me.
These dogs. It's constant animals around.
Go do that one. Smoke's coming out.
Is it coming out?
Smoke's coming out.
There we go.
Yep,
It am? There it comes. Once there's a coal base going, we can shut the door on it. Alright, well that's pretty much the extent of it here. We're going to get that fire going pretty good. Then once it gets a good coal base of the hardwood, which is ash wood, we'll let it smoke. I'll probably smoke it for six hours today, maybe more. And yeah, we'll probably do like 15 hours overall on that batch there. So yeah, thanks for tuning in.